place to be. Catching Dolphins, talking fantasy. From the field to the fan debate. Fins talk today, don't be late. Fins up, we ride until the end. With Bobby talking about the Fins. Pod that poppin' every week, no delay. Join the crew, Fins talk today. Lolly chat and stacks on prime. Miami hustle all the day. Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, 'cause we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number one.
Welcome to Fins TV on Fins TV Plus on FTSM. I'm your host, Fin Sammy, with my co-host, the controversial Eddie Chapel. Eddie, welcome back to Fins TV Plus on FTSN.
Thank you, sir. How you doing tonight?
Thank you. Doing good. The Dolphins finally in the win column. That game was kind of weird because the Dolphins could have, basically won that game by more. And there's been a controversy all week. People saying that if the Jets lost the game or did the Dolphins win it. I, for one, say that since the Dolphins did everything they had to do, like everything we've been complaining or caring or, worried about, especially making turnovers, they find a way to make the Jets make turnovers. They committed to the run, even for a time by my Daniel, went to be whole self, but basically they committed to the run. They were a little more organized, less penalties in critical situations. They basically did everything what they wanted to do. So for me, the Dolphins won the game. So I want to go with the bat to know your thoughts. Do you think that the Dolphins won the game or they just lost the game?
Yes. No, I think Miami won the game. Of course, they're going to make excuses that the Jets lost the game. Look, the Jets played Tampa tough. The first week they played somebody tough, but Miami outplayed them. Miami could have put up a lot more points on them than they did. Yeah, that was a great play by Jack Jones, making it a 14-point swing. But Miami won it. It gets a little old. Every time Miami wins, it's always the other team lost it.
Yes, for sure. And I thought basically the game plan, I thought it was good. I think we talked about it. That they look more prepared than other times. The last 2 weeks, they looked like a cohesive team.
Yes.
So that's good, going forward, because that's one of the basic complaints, that the team looked disorganized, the leadership was lacking the sidelines. But I've seen a completely different Mike McDaniel last week. I've been critical as anyone of Mike McDaniel, but I kind of like the way he has composed, and he looked more composed in the sideline, and the penalties are down, and they're using better uses of the clock. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I brought that up against Buffalo, or after the Buffalo game, that he looked like he was way more serious. He has been the past 2 weeks. He's done a great job the past 2 weeks. He gets away from a couple things, but I understand that you can't just keep doing the same thing. But I think he's called 2 good games in a row.
Yeah, that's kind of refreshing, because that's one of the problems. The game plan didn't work. The last 2 weeks, the Bills are obviously a better team. There's no excuses there. I think they played them tough. That's something to look upon. That the fact that they look prepared, they look organized against the Bills. They didn't come with a win, but they within distance, or maybe an injury, someone that at the Bills uniform that changes the game complexion, and the Dolphins take care of it, or the Dolphins finally get a turnover in critical situation. But that didn't happen. But this happened this week. 3 turnovers for the Dolphins. What are your thoughts on the defense? The run defense, Eddie, keeps being a problem. That's going to get the Dolphins killed. They don't kind of find a way to solve it. Calais Campbell's absence for sure has to make the difference. What are your thoughts? Because the defense, the secondary right now, I'm not as worried as I thought it would be. It was the strength of the team, the front seven, that was supposed to be the strength, and that's what has me worried. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. The front seven is putrid right now. That's all I can say about it. They'll make one. They had some tackle for losses this week, but when your linebackers making 18 tackles, the front is not doing their job. Behind, because like 10 of them were from behind.
Thank
God for Jordan Brooks, though. He saves a lot of big plays. He's been everything for that team. But up the middle, they're terrible. They're ganging up on Zach. It's hard for a rookie. I've said it from the beginning to come in here and take a defensive tackle. That's why I didn't want one till the second or third round. But
yeah, you said that before. Yeah, I remember that.
I would have went with Warren there, the tight end, but now we got Waller, who we always liked, right, Sam?
Well, I liked him before.
Me too. I know.
We're gonna get to that in a minute, but you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. He's gonna have to make some changes, I think, Weaver, in the middle of that defense. But of course, I say the middle. The edge isn't any better for setting the edge. So I don't know. He's got to come up with something. It's not Weaver. He didn't lose his ability to coach in 1 year. I don't care what people think on that.
Yeah, it's worrisome because, you know, the front seven was supposed to be the strength of the team, but the defense right now, especially the teams are running up the middle of the Dolphins. They just cannot stop it. I thought that the linebackers would have been better. Basically, you know, the unexperienced or not having Canadian Campbell in there, maybe will give the Dolphins some kind of advantage at times, but doesn't seem to happen. The other teams are taking advantage so much of running right up the gut of the Dolphins. Eddie.
Could you repeat that, Sam, real quick?
The fact that the other teams are basically running right up the gut. Right up the gut. Linebackers will. I think Dawson is a great guy, so I expected a little bit better play from the linebackers. But it's not only the offensive tackles; they are running right in the middle, and 7 yards, 8 yards, and even more at times.
The job of a defensive tackle on a run. Yes, you'd like him to penetrate and stop the running back in the backfield, but his job is to keep the linemen off of the linebackers so they can come in and fill a hole. I think what we got going on here is a bunch of new players in here that have really never played together. Even Dotson is only a few games played last year, and then this year, and then of course the whole secondary is new. Near Sealer's new. Chubb didn't play at all last year. I don't know. Hopefully the win helps them. I think everybody's trying to not do their own thing, but I think they're trying to do too much. And I think that's what's going on and why they keep getting gutted on the run.
Absolutely. And what about the loss of Tyreek Hill? What are your thoughts? Because that was huge. The Dolphins win a game and they lose basically their number one weapon. One is basically irreplaceable, but there's no way the Dolphins can find a way to replace Tyreek Hill.
No, there's no one that can replace him. Certainly not Cedric Wilson. Well, that was a great signing, by the way. Anyway, I feel, I don't know. It looked like Tua and him were getting on the same page the last 2 weeks. He looked great in that game. He already had 6 receptions before he went down. I'm wearing my Tyreek jersey in his honor today. I felt bad for him. I saw him trying to fire everybody up before the team. I thought that was amazing because they don't have a lot of guys that have a lot of fire, and he was one of them. And he seemed like he was trying to be a good teammate this year. So I feel bad that it ended. That might be the last time we ever see him in a Dolphin uniform. And
he's been doing the last 2 weeks, especially everything. I've been critical of Tariq, because of what happened last year. And, but last 2 weeks, and especially on Monday, he rallied the troops. He was doing his thing. He tried to show some leadership. I think he got to do that. And he played hard. I think that's basically why he got hurt, because he was playing really hard to the whistle. Yes. He was doing so much things. So when you see him, I wanted to acknowledge and say, since I've been critical, I wanted to acknowledge the fact that he was playing hard and he should be acknowledged. And just like that, I didn't even have time because he would have it. And it's really sad and disappointing.
It really was.
Well, our special guest is in the lobby, so let's talk a little bit more about the Panthers and welcome our special guest. Let me go here. I have to do some. There you are. Our pleasure here, our friend Adrian Rainey from the Rainy Day Pod, to Ross from SmackDown and everywhere else. The guys everywhere. Adrian, welcome to Vince TV Plus on FTSN.
What's happening, guys? Sammy,
It's,
Eddie, how y'all doing tonight?
Good, man.
it's
How
a
are
re-
you?
it's a reunion. We're putting back the band together with Adrian and Eddie. It's been a long time since the three of us have been together. I was talking with Eddie last Monday night's game. We were right talking about Tyreek Hill. I've been telling Eddie that I've been critical of Tyreek, of what happened in the last game of the last season, and the leadership stuff and everything. But the last 2 weeks he was showing leadership. The guy was playing hard. Basically, I think that's why he got hurt, because he was playing hard. That's what happened. What I want to know your thoughts on how big of a loss Tyreek Hill is for the Dolphins going down, Adrian.
I mean, it's huge. He's one of the best players in the league. Top 5 wide receiver, you gotta say it. And
For sure.
then yeah, it's just a shame, man, that you see, that type of injury when he's having the game that he was having. Like Eddie said, 6 receptions, 67 yards, and he was on his way to a monster game. He probably would have had double that, if not for the injury. So you hate to see it the way, he's been, behind the scenes, what we've been hearing, at least this year. Um, him, he wasn't named a captain, but he's pretty much been a captain this whole season. So you got to, even in the losses, like the Colts game, you seen him on the sideline with the fire, like Eddie talked about, man, and it's just a shame, man. Probably the end of the Tyreek era in Miami. So you just gotta, pray for him. You see, he's walking already. He's walking with the walker already. Dude, don't stop. So he'll be back up to speed in no time, and we'll see. We'll see how his career finishes, where he goes from here.
Absolutely, it's very more than likely his last game as a Dolphin. The Dolphin. At one point he was the number one player by his peers in the NFL. So we cannot say it was a bad trade. It's just a disappointment that his time in Miami, basically Eddie, had to end that way.
Oh, absolutely. It's I wouldn't call that a bad trade at all.
No.
This is a great trade. He's been one of the best players at the wide receiver position Miami's ever had, and that's saying a lot. I mean, I'm not going to say he's been the best, but he's been up there with all of them, with Clayton, Duper. You can go back to Paul Warfield way before you guys, but and it's hard to find somebody that good, that's that special with that talent. You cannot coach what he has. You can't make a player do what he does. I mean, you can have the hardest worker, you could have a great receiver, but that speed and his route running and his ability to track a ball is second to none. And I hope there's a way they can work something out next year, because I know he wants to be in Miami. You can feel it now, but I just don't know. So it's kind of sad. It really is. I just hated the way that had to end this way.
He's basically irreplaceable. He's replaceable.
He is.
He's the kind of player he is. There's no way you can replace that kind of player. The speed, the way, the things he does. There's just no way to replace it.
It's just like the Giants coach said. Sorry, Adrian. About Malik Neighbors, said there's no sense in trading. They can't replace that talent. So
yeah, and with all his off the field stuff, people forget he was voted #1 player in the NFL just a year ago, by his peers. So that says a lot about, who Tyreek is and what he does, or what he's done for football so far. So
absolutely. We were talking before about the Dolphins playing hard the last 2 weeks, Adrian. Now we get the Panthers. Let's start on the Panthers. The Panthers, our team that year after year, they do some moves that they're questionable. Then they go a stretch where we start playing good, and then we're like, okay, they're Panthers. But a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to be in Miami for that game against the Panthers, and the Panthers took a 14-0 lead. I'm like, whoa. So you cannot overestimate anyone. So what are your thoughts right off the bat? What's your first thought when you see about the Carolina Panthers? What are your first thoughts?
they're a bad team, but they can't really run the ball. Bryce is his offensive line's hurt, so he's going through it, but he's still having a okay season. They seem to be playing like one good game, one bad game, one good game, one bad. Let's hope this is another bad game, but they just had one last week, so this might be,
That might be
them going
good
up
game.
on this one. Because I don't know, man. They're like iffy, man. You don't know what to expect with the Panthers. So to me, like the way our defense is playing, they could come out there and they could, run up the score like they did on Atlanta, or they could just come out and we could just dominate. We don't know what we're gonna get with this team. Let's hope our defense, finds something that can stop them, and maybe the pass rush gets to him, because he is a smaller quarterback. So all you got to do, like Eddie said, the middle of the defense is pretty terrible, and that your defensive line ain't doing nothing when you got two linebackers in the top 5 in tackles. So let's hope the middle of the defense can push their front back into this dude's lap, and then we could get some sacks or get some tips or overthrows with this shorter stature quarterback. But Bryce is good. Bryce is accurate. This is like the battle of the Alabama quarterbacks right here. This is gonna be a fun one, I think. As far as both defenses ain't really that good, but they can't run the ball. So if they can find a way to run the ball, then I'm a little worried. But other than that, I don't think they can really do anything passing wise. They don't have really many receivers. They got one receiver really. I mean, that's pretty much all you can. The one guy, and that's it. So I think Miami will score points. It's just, are we going to let them score or not? That's how it just depends on our defense. That's how I think the game's going to go. The way our defense plays, if they come out like they've been, then it's going to be a close game. But if not, then we'll run it up.
You're watching Fins TV Plus on FTSN with the special guest Adrian Rainey and my co-host, the controversial Eddie Chapel. I'm Fin Sammy. Eddie, like Adrian said, the Panthers are that kind of a team that they get better, they get worse. They're pretty unpredictable at this point of the season. When I said the Carolina Panthers, what are your first thoughts?
Jekyll and Hyde. It's crazy. It's they looked great. They beat Atlanta, right? That's the team they beat.
I think so.
30-0.
Yeah, and which I think they benched Penix in that game. They made him, but we should be able to score on that defense. And I don't know what's going to happen with ours. I don't believe their running back is playing, right, Hubbard. I know he's missed practice all week.
He's missed his practice all week. We go to the.
He's questionable. So
he's questionable.
Yes,
all right, yeah. I'm not sure about their other backs. I know they have one legitimate wide receiver. This is the time for us. Yeah, Chuba did not practice.
Oh yeah.
This is
our
our
read it,
time
Eddie, because you're younger. You don't have glasses. Please read it for me because I'd have to use my glasses to read it.
Yeah, he's out. Did not participate today.
Yeah,
so
that injury list is quite long compared to the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, we've improved.
Yeah, every week
the
we're
injuries.
Getting better. But there's so many guys on IR that you just don't see the guys on injury report.
Exactly.
that changes a lot of things. Please continue. Chad, Hubbard is he's injured, but you never know with these things. He might be a game time decision.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whoever it is. I think they could put one of us in there right now. I think we could at least get a couple yards of carry right now. The way they get pushed off the ball, I'd never get back up once I got hit. But
you get 1 yard.
Maybe. And this is a team, they're only averaging like 100 yards a game.
Yes.
And Hubbard's only averaging like 50 around 50 yards a game.
Yeah, but you don't know. It's just I couldn't tell you on Miami's defense. If they play together, maybe they'll put a game together. Maybe the pressure's off of them because they won. That's what I'm hoping. They won't try to make plays they shouldn't be trying to make.
Absolutely. It's kind of a weird game just because of that. Because again, it's unexpected. If the Dolphins lose, they're gonna say we lose to the bad team, or they're gonna say we lost to a good team. It could go either way. It depends on the game goes. But the defense for sure. The strength is probably in the passing defense, because the run defense for sure has been now as a part of the season to be very, very weak run defense. So Bryce Young, I want to know your thoughts. CJ Stroud was considered to be like, yeah, they made a mistake. But if you had to say now, Eddie and Adrian, that's an interesting point. Who you think is the basic quarterback, better quarterback right now, Young or Stroud? I want to start with Adrian. It's just yeah, it's a puzzle, because a couple of years ago that was a slam dunk. Right now, I'm not so sure. Just for the sake of argument, what are your thoughts?
I don't know, man, because what CJ Stroud said today, what I seen today, he said he feel like he's getting, I don't know if he was joking or what, but he said he feels like he's getting old, like he's losing some athleticism. It's like, bro, you're 23. I don't want to hear none of that at 23. Come on now. But I mean, two different quarterbacks. Stroud ain't never been like praised for his accuracy.
Yeah.
Young has, since he's been in college, and the reason why he's the number one pick. I feel like Young is more like Tua. Coming out of college, he got all that hype because of the accuracy. It's like, but there's other things you need. But I would take CJ Stroud right now. Just like at this moment right now, I just think CJ Stroud's in a slump. That's all that is. Bryce Young is who he is. Like, we know what he is. We pretty much have one of those. So we know the limitations. But CJ Stroud could be, we've seen it. We've seen what he can do. Bryce, you see what he could do too, but he just hasn't had the greatest supporting cast around him.
As of right now, I'm kind of worried, because Tua said the other day that he doesn't feel like the injuries are basically catching up to him. So I don't know. It's more like Stroud when he says he's getting injured. It's more like Bryce Young. I don't know. Eddie, those two quarterbacks is going to be connected in the hip, like Herbert and Tua will be connected forever with Burrow. But what are your thoughts right now, Bryce Young or CJ Stroud? Because that used to be a slam dunk, not anymore.
Yeah, CJ's had a couple bad years. I think what was it, 2 years ago, he was great. Last year, he was a little meh. And then this year but that line is terrible for him. I was watching some line play today that they didn't even block the guy up the middle. The guy killed him. He threw him down on the ground. Did you see the play, Adrian? It was on
5-6 guys blocking one guy.
Yes.
That was wild.
It was horrible. One guy just came open right up the middle. I was like, wow, the Dolphins don't even do that.
Yeah.
So, but if between them, I would take CJ Stroud. Obviously, CJ Stroud needs Mike McDaniel. That's what he needs.
There you go.
Now that's different. There was a clip of I even think I shared that where two guys. It had to be the video says this has to be the worst offensive line in the NFL, and basically the two teammates block each other. I don't know if you see it now. Which one was that?
Yeah.
Because that's basically the worst. Huh?
You said that, right?
I saw. I think I shared that. They're two offensive linemen basically blocking each other. I'm like, now that's the worst offensive line in the NFL, because they're no blitz in the NFL.
That might have been Tennessee, I think.
You think it's Tennessee? I have to check, because
I'm not sure.
Was also played.
No, I think that was the Texans.
One of the two.
I think that was the Texans.
Yeah, you're right. I think
the Texans. It was the Texans. Yes. I don't want anyone complaining about Liam Eichenberg anymore, because I had not seen Liam Eichenberg block anyone on the Dolphins, not another team, but at least not on the Dolphins. So for that sake, I don't want anyone complaining about
0 sacks for Liam Eichenberg this year.
That's right. No holding and no offsides.
No penalties, no sacks.
You remember when we were worried and striving about if we get to Leah Eichenberg, we have problems. And right now it's like, man, I wish Leah Eichenberg was there.
Oh, man.
How times have changed. Let's talk a little bit about Tua, because we have to talk every single week about Tua. He's the quarterback. He's the one making the most money in the Dolphins. Adrian, I don't want to put you in the spot, but it's true. You basically want a little tiny bit sour on Tua Tagovailoa, But at least the last couple of weeks, Tua has looked a little bit better. I think that they made some change that made him look a little more stable in the pocket. He's moving around quicker. He's throwing out of the pocket. So those things are different. But the massive contract is like I said last night with our friend Steve Malloy from TSN. Tua is the guy that can probably win a Super Bowl with, but he and I don't believe that. Listen to me, Adrian. Listen to me.
I'm listening.
And I believe that if you go one by one, the Dolphins. This is my take. You go by one. The problems the Dolphins right now. I don't think Tua is top 3, maybe not even top 5. The Dolphins have more troubling things than basically Tua. The problem is that when you're making over $50 million, your quarterback has to be able to overcome the 5 problems that are ahead of him. And I'm not sure right now Tua is the kind of quarterback that can do that. That's the problem. The offensive line, the coach that sometimes handicaps himself, and so many other things. The defense right now.
Defense in general.
The defense. So the bad front office, the construction of the team, one after the other. Tua right now is a capable quarterback, but I don't think he's a quarterback that can overcome the 5 things that are probably ahead of him. But I know you're sour on Tua, but I don't think basically he's the problem per se. So what are the thoughts basically? Where are you coming when the disappointment you have on Tua right now?
So I definitely don't think he's the problem, but I also don't think he's a quarterback that's going to win us a Super Bowl. So yeah, he's not the solution. So his limitations for this offense is just. The quarterback we need for this offense needs to have a big arm with all the speed. And this is why the window is just gone for Miami right now. Because you have all that speed and you can't even get them the ball in stride, down the field where we could be killing teams. And he's just not the right guy, I feel like, at this point in time. If you go and get some big receivers, keep, a Darren Waller type tight end. You keep him, Tua is fine, man. He's going to move the ball. He'll score points. But we've all seen what he does toward the end of the season. It don't matter if he plays 17 games or not. The dude can't. He hasn't proven it so far that he can perform in December and January. And that's where I'm at with it. Like, this is his 6th year. We've gave him enough time. We gave Ryan Tannehill 6-7 years, and same thing. It's the same thing to me. Like you should know what kind of quarterback you have if he's the guy or not. I want to say by the end of the 3rd year.
Absolutely,
you should know,
sure.
And maybe even before that. So we've been seeing it, and then it's just because he played the 17-game season, we had that great offense that really choked toward the end of the season and then in the playoffs. So it's like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of out on him. I want a different quarterback for this offense. And if we get another coach, the injuries too has a lot to do with it also. But if we get another coach, and I want ground and pound, type of offense. That's what the NFL is moving toward. You see these teams that are winning in December and January, and they're pounding the ball. They're the most physical teams. Like, you can look at them. Look at the past, 3-4 Super Bowl winners, the Chiefs, obviously, but they are physical teams, man, and they'll break you. They'll break you in December and January. We're not that type of team. And that's why I don't put it all on Tua, but I just don't feel like he's the guy moving forward, and the proof is in what he's done for us already. That's fair. That's my point.
That's fair for sure. That's basically the same point I'm making, but you're taking another point. But basically the same thing. He might not be the problem, but he hasn't showed to be honest, he hasn't showed that he's capable to overcome the limitations that the franchise as a whole had, because it's not all on him. The franchise for a whole for the last 25 years is handicapped. There's the front office, I don't want to say this is a curse, but man, the Dolphins find a way to do something right, and Tyreek Hill goes down. What are the odds of that?
Ineptitude, man.
And the ineptitude, yes. There's no way Tua can come in, and it's not an excuse, but it's a bigger handicap that we can probably give him credit for to overcome the ineptitude of the Dolphins' wrong offers for the last 25 years. I don't know. Maybe Tua goes somewhere else, and he's Tannehill 2.0, because Tannehill found a running game in Tennessee, and there was something different.
And he's a good quarterback, man. Nobody's taking anything away from the dude, man. It's just not right for our team right now at this, with this type of offense.
Absolutely. You're watching Feast TV Plus on FTSN. It's our special guest, Adrian Rainey for the Rainey Pod, and the controversial Eddie Chapa, my co-host, and Sammy. Eddie, Tua, he's not Alabama Tua anymore. We talk about it privately. Like Tua right now, I don't know. He doesn't look the same. And then last week, I think it was last week, he talked about the injuries, maybe catching up to him. I personally believe that you should not trade Tua. You should do like other teams have done before, like the Packers when they had Brett Favre and they drafted Aaron Rodgers like for a year or two, and then we had Rodgers, they drafted Jordan Love. Even the Dolphins. The Dolphins went to the Super Bowl, and Chula saw Dan Marino on the board and said, "I need to have that guy." They find a way to draft the right quarterback. So. I don't know. I do not believe that trading Tua right now will be the solution. I think if we get a guy that we can commit to, that we draft him and we stack him behind Tua, because there's a lot of quarterback can learn behind Tua for sure. It's not like I wasn't feeling comfortable when Tua was behind Ryan Fitzpatrick. Nothing against Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I don't think that's the guy that Tua could have learned a lot from. The personality and stuff, that doesn't mesh with him anymore. But Tua is the kind of guy that can probably be a good example for another quarterback. What are your thoughts right now on Tua? Because he doesn't look like Alabama Tua anymore.
I don't know if I'd want my quarterback learning from him. To me, he doesn't have enough. I don't know what it is. I don't know him personally. I'm not on the sideline, so I couldn't really. I could just, in my opinion, what I see, he doesn't get mad enough. He doesn't.
I agree with that.
He doesn't yell at other players like, my God. I mean, even Tannehill yelled at players. But Dan Marino guys by the face mask off the field. It was awesome. You need some fire behind there. At least I'll say Fitzpatrick had that. I mean, that's why his teammates loved him.
That they love him for sure.
I'd say he cost us Joe Burrow, but what's Joe Burrow? He's great.
Brian Flores called you for Joe Burrow,
but Joe Burrow's hurt too. But as for what Adrian was saying about Tua,
as of right now, Tua has played more games than Joe Burrow. Let's get that straight.
Yeah, well, he hasn't played more playoff games or Super Bowls.
That's but if you're not in the field, you cannot get to the Super Bowl. So that points me. But please go ahead.
But what he's
point exactly.
The thing is with Tua, to be paid that much money, you should be able to overcome your team's shortcomings and win. That's definitely something when he's healthy, Joe Burrow can do. Because that's a cheap franchise, Cincinnati. They never wanted to spend on an offensive line for him. They got lucky with the draft there with Chase and stuff. But I don't know. Tua can't go out there and win you a game. That's what I see from him. And that's what I have a problem with. I can't go like I did, 2 years ago they were good on offense, where they'd get the ball and I'd be like, that's all right. We'll score here. Now I get the ball. I'm like, please don't turn the ball over. That's how I just feel. And even the game the other night, Tyreek was pretty much making all the plays, and Waddle. They were still short throws. I don't know what's going on. Something is wrong. They're just not going to let us know, and they shouldn't. I've seen Omar, his writing about it. Yeah, exactly. Talking about he saw him throw in camp, and there's nothing wrong with his arm. I'm like, what is he talking about? Because I've seen him. I can tell when a ball flutters. I can see when the ball doesn't have any zip behind it.
You can see that because just if the ball bubbles,
I can see when he's on the move that and he throws it. I get scared to death because there's nothing behind that ball unless he's going to his left. If he's to his right, I'm just like, take the sack, throw it out of bounds, whatever. Just do something. Don't throw it to the other team. I don't know. He's just somebody to me that can't go out and win a game by himself. I mean, nobody should have to win a game by himself, but you know what I mean? Some quarterbacks could just do it. I mean, Josh Allen could do it. I'm not comparing him to Josh Allen, but that's the people that deserve $53 million, not Tua.
Basically, that's a great point because Tua the other day said that, that he can have the things that Josh Allen can do. He said, can you take a pay cut and basically take this half of the salary? Because if you cannot do half of the things, I want half of the salary. So I was kind of I love Tua's honestly, but don't give me that. I don't give me that, because if you're gonna do half of the things, half of the job, I want half of the pay, and I want half of the budget on you, because that was kind of disturbing. That, to be honest, that bothered me a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, in common sense though, if you have receivers that can run by any DB in the NFL, wouldn't you want a quarterback that can get them the ball? I mean, if you got to throw it to him 20 yards, he can't really throw past 30 yards. We seen the one, and what was that, the Patriots game? It got in the air and fluttered down, and Tyreek had to stop and turn around. And Tyreek was flying by the guy. That should have been a touchdown. But this the limitations.
I want to go with something. Anthony wants to read our comment. He said, I disagree. College is starting to develop more receivers like Tyreek Hill. The perfect example, this is Jeremiah Smith of Ohio State and Malachi Tony from Miami. That's basically a good point, because you're getting very athletes at the wide receiver position, but basically they're smaller. So that's basically good. He's right about that.
Well, Jeremiah Smith is a big boy, but Malachi Tony is he is more like a Tyreek kind of,
but more athletic, faster, and more elusive, that kind of player.
Quick.
You think he just turned 18, didn't he? He was 17 in them first couple games.
Yeah, that he's a monster too.
Yeah, he is.
That's basically the kind of player that usually goes play basketball instead of football. So because they're more athletic, then they find a way to be basketball players instead of football players. So that's kind of interesting. The game might be changing on that. Let's go a little bit to the Panthers. The Dolphins, 1-3 right now. The Panthers, basically the same. I want to know your thoughts before we go. Who you think, Adrian? Who you think wins the game? Because that can go either way. I had the Dolphins finding a way to win 3 out of the next 4 and going 4-4. I said a couple of weeks ago after the Buffalo loss. When it happens, when I'm done, I'll say I'm done. But right now, they still have a chance, Adrian. So give me your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think the Dolphins win on Sunday?
Well, God bless you, Sammy, for thinking that.
Power of positivity, baby.
It is. Hard to be positive. I mean, good win. We beat the Jets. Everybody hates the Jets. I know I just absolutely hate the Jets. So that was a great win. But that defense, that's the only thing I'm really worried about. I feel like Carolina, we're going to score points, but the defense is the only thing I'm worried about, is because we let the Jets, who, isn't a great passing team, but Justin Fields racked up a lot of yards on us, running and throwing. So, and then they ran the ball over. They had almost 200 rushing yards.
Less than last time, because last time was an NFL record. But at least
178 yards rushing, I think.
They contained him. The defense did a job. They contained him. They allowed him to have the NFL record this season.
Improvement. Only 80 rushing yards this time. So that's improvement.
Woo-hoo!
But if the defense comes, like I said earlier, man, if the defense comes out to play, then we'll win easily. But if not, then this could be one of those games where we're shaking our heads and smacking our foreheads like, what are we doing? But I have the Dolphins winning, and I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be like 27-17.
Awesome. The Dolphins fan all season have been like that scene on the Naked Gun movies when the guys go like clap, everybody goes clap. That's basically the Dolphins fan right now. Eddie, what are your thoughts? The defense might be the problem for the Dolphins. Anthony Weaver was very passionate last week about the way he talked about the defense, and what the defense needs to do. I love that, but the defense didn't find a way to stop the run on Monday. But do you think the Dolphins have a chance to win on Sunday, Eddie?
They have a chance, yeah. Do I think they're going to win? For some reason, I don't. It's just me. It's how I am. It's how I've been this year.
Yeah, but you like to do the opposite a lot. You like to do the opposite.
Yeah, but now I'm starting to. That's not working anymore. It did against the Jets, but everything else, I don't know. I get if they play like they did against Atlanta, Carolina, we're not going to stop them. We're not, because we let a very one-dimensional team run up and down the field in the Jets against us, even though I still think Garrett Wilson's foot was out of bounds and that shouldn't have been a touchdown. But that's me. I don't know if I saw that wrong or not, but
I agree.
I don't know. I got a feeling we're going to be 1-4, even though I don't. I want to win.
Yeah.
I hope they win. If they do, hopefully they can keep stacking. Like I said, I hope that took the pressure off them getting a win last week, and they actually do their assignments and not try to be superstars on defense.
Yeah.
I truly believe the Dolphins will win on Sunday. I'm not going to say they're going to basically squash the Panthers by any means because it's a road game. But the fact that they beat the Falcons, divisional games are usually kind of weird. They know each other better. So it's not kind of surprising that something like that would happen. But I still think they have the chance to win. I haven't 31-21 Dolphins, so I haven't going 2-3. So the week afterwards against the Chargers, that have to wait and see. But right now, this week, I think they can probably go to Carolina and win the game.
Let me ask y'all something. If we come out and let's just say hypothetically, all right, we come out and the Panthers play like they did against Atlanta and we just get dominated. What do y'all think happens? You think we get to 5 wins after that? If you lose to the Panthers, I mean, could have lost to the Jets, but we beat the Jets, but could have lost to the Jets. Like you get dominated by the Panthers, get pounded like they say, man, that would be a bad look, man. I don't know.
They wouldn't make it to 5 wins.
No, I
would. The end of the season is pretty brutal.
Yeah. If they lose to the Panthers, they better start receiving some calls on Jalen Phillips, probably on Bradley Chubb, and Tyreek is off the table, of course, but they have to start thinking what they're going to do next because if they lose to the Panthers, that I see CCR probably embrace the tank. You and me both, brother, because I don't know, the Panthers are probably thinking about pressing the tank if they lose on Sunday.
I just don't want this regime to pick anybody.
It's the tank ball, basically, because the team that loses on Sunday, basically couldn't be thinking about basically starting training players. So I am Jimenez, Panther fan here, wanted to see you all as well as we are. My hopes Panthers winning isn't the guys. You're going to end up winning regardless. Thank you for watching, Jimenez, and of course, like I said, CCRR, embrace the tank. Listen.
We're right there with you, brother.
Rebuilding is hard because the Panthers have been rebuilding for the last couple of years. So rebuilding is hard. They change coaches. They find a way to, I kind of like the coach they have right now, but, you expect results because if you don't get results in the first 2 years, you're basically out in the NFL. So that's the problem. Hashtag Tank with Tua. Tank with Tua. That's the new one. That's the new. Remember that for Tua now is Tank with Tua. Losers, and it says losers are wins. So Armando Zagar was the one who coined the French style for Tua, and now basically you may, if you see anywhere Tank with Tua anywhere, that started here on Fins TV Plus by Tua.
That's it. I like it.
So that basically is. Guys, we have over 200 people watching our platforms on the Thursday night. I want to know your thoughts. But one last thought. If the Dolphins lose on Sunday, are we tanking? Are we trading? What are your thoughts, Adrian, before we go? What would you do if you are General Manager Adrian Rainey?
Sammy, you already know. All right.
I want the people
I'm cleaning house. I told you before the season, 0-17, I wanted to go. Let's just get it over with. Let's clean house. I know we got Tua for another year at least, but yeah, man, I'm ready to move on from this regime. Even especially now, like with Tyreek getting hurt, like that was our when we got Tyreek, everybody thought this is our Super Bowl window right here. And look how this turned out, man. So I mean, start all over. It's nothing's good has come of this. Nothing. Like you could say, oh, #1 offense in the league and all that crap, man. But no, we haven't won a playoff game still. We can't even compete with the great teams. So it's like, come on, man. Let's just start over. And I don't even want a quarterback in the draft. I'm building the lines because that's where you're supposed to start, not draft a quarterback and put him behind a crappy offensive line and then see what happens. It's just dumb, man. We got two good pieces, maybe. Well, Austin Jackson, I don't know, but let's just blow it up. That's what I would do. If I'm the GM, blow everything up. I mean, make me the owner so I could fire everybody first.
Thank you.
Anthony with a comment I want to read. He said, Adrian, if we end up being number one, and does automatically mean that we don't have a quarterback, or because the contract we have for Tua, we can't do that because I like Fernando Mendoza.
I mean, Sammy, you said it. Like if they have. Oh, I like Sellers. I really like Sellers. Mateer's gonna be good too. But if they have conviction and they really think this is the guy, which we know who's picking these picks, man, come on. I don't want them to pick. I think bring some new blood in, some guys that's gonna make this team more like get more dogs on this team, man. Be more physical and not this finesse stuff, man. It doesn't win anymore in the NFL. You might get some stats, but that's it. You ain't gonna get no playoff wins with this type of team. So, yeah, but I wouldn't draft a quarterback unless you really think that's the guy. But I think you build the rest of the team. You got Tua for another year. Let him ride out, man, and then really start the rebuild. The year after could be a Arch Manning. I mean, he don't even look that good, but Sellers or Mateer look like a sure thing, but you never know what's a sure thing till the real bullets start flying in the NFL. So, but build the lines, man. That's what dominates NFL games. It's the lines, defensive line, offensive line. That's what dominates.
Absolutely. I want to read this comment by 305 Boss because he wants to read a comment. Our management is so bad. We are tanking when we're not even trying to tank. That's been the common number for a couple of years now. So since the basic getting interesting before we go, let's say the Dolphins have a chance to decide between getting someone like John Harbaugh or someone like that, another coach that we had to trade for, or the quarterback. What is more important for you? I want Eddie to think about it before I ask Adrian. Adrian, what would you trade for the quarterback, or for one established basically coach like John Harbaugh or someone like that? So Mike Tomlin, someone like that. You're not gonna give less than a first round pick for someone like that. You will have to give us a first round pick for someone who's been a Super Bowl coach like John Harbaugh. So would you rather have John Harbaugh or an established head coach, or a quarterback that you can basically and get it someone else? Because the kind of improved coach that been winning the wings, like some of the others that become coaches the last couple of years, Harbaugh with the Chargers and the Broncos head coach, that Sean Payton, that kind of coach is not winning the wings. And I'm not a big fan of John Gruden becoming the Dolphins head coach. So what are your thoughts? Will you trade for a head coach, or you would rather keep the pick and get a rookie, non-experienced head coach before you get the quarterback?
I think it starts with the head coach, to be honest, and you let him find his guy, build his team, and get his type of players, man. And if we get a hard-nosed guy like John Harbaugh, or man, boy, I mean, it could be. We talk about, or the Dolphins talk about culture all the time. You get one of those guys in, man, you're gonna have a good team for a while. And
how about you, Eddie?
I'm definitely going to coach though.
How about you, Eddie? What's more important for you? Would you rather trade for the quarterback, or we'll get the quarterback with the pick, or you rather trade with someone like John Harbaugh? Because Harbaugh is the kind of coach that is in good spirits with the Ravens, but every single other year is rumors starting that the contract and everything. Sean McVay in with the Rams, being rumors that he wanted to out sometime, but he stayed. Anything can happen when the head coach wants to shop at the groceries like Big Parcells. He might get in tight for an owner like Stephen Ross, who's he's gonna pay the money if he can. So what's more important to you, that use the pick on a quarterback, or basically trading the pick for a head coach, established head coach?
Coach, and let him pick the quarterback, because no matter what anybody says, they were going with this the last time. Whoever said Tua they could work with. And that's what happened. That's why they ended up with Mike McDaniel. I guarantee you they could have had a different coach if they probably had some interviews and the guy said,
He tried. No,
I don't like Tua, or I don't think we can win with him the way I want to play my offense. To tell you the truth, I don't think Mike McDaniel, I think I said it on a different show, would have picked Tua if he was the head coach and he had the choice that year. I almost guarantee you he would have went with Herbert because that's what he's looking for. Someone that's mobile and throw on the run, and then you're opening up an RPO, and you would see 80-yard bombs to Tyreek every game if Herbert was the quarterback. And I'm not saying Herbert's a god. I'm just saying that's what this offense is meant to do. And then the running game would open up.
Yeah, you're saying he can do it.
Yes, he could,
Exactly.
he could throw it. And because I don't want to go back, but if you look at the Jet game, I watched the all 22. Tyreek and Waddle were open so many times past 30 yards. I mean, and the offensive line did pretty well holding their own, and he just didn't throw it deep. And I guarantee you somebody like Herbert or whoever would have thrown it deep. And they would have they were beating the corners every time. They owned Carter out there before he went out hurt. The safety, he was getting burnt every time. So that's just my opinion on that. So,
like, I don't know how many.
If I was the GM, I would fire myself if I built this team.
Around 50 years ago, a certain football franchise in South Florida traded, I think it was a first-round pick, and even more for a head coach who went to the Super Bowl and didn't win with the coach. And that coach was John Shula. The Dolphins find a way to get the coach, and that turned the franchise around. So they have to do something because they, going with an experienced head coach, it might be that is out at the end of the year when many think they're going to go out. That the coach for sure is the right answer. Final thoughts, Adrian, before we go. Where you can find you on social media and what you have cooking on the Rainy Day Pod and to Raw for SmackDown.
Well, tonight I'm doing a show on 305 Sports Now with Will Padron and Q from I Hate Football podcast. That'll be 9:30. I'll be a little late, but we're gonna talk Miami Hurricanes and FSU game, so that's gonna be fun. I was supposed to do a show with Carolina Panthers fan tomorrow, and you know what? I got a message today saying the Panthers don't deserve my time.
So I saw CCRR and who was here. So someone else. Let me go back. I am Jimenez. It was a Panthers fan. Reach out to Adrian if you want to be on Raiders podcast about the Panthers because it's hard. Please. So you guys, if you add Rainy Day Pod, right, Adrian, and A-Train 8712 on X.
Yes,
so
sir.
Please reach out to him if you want to do a pod about the Panthers tomorrow. Eddie, what are your final thoughts?
Oh, I like Adrian a lot. He's the only one that answers me in some of these group chats and agrees with me on a lot of things.
Let's go, Eddie.
Cry me a river, Eddie. Cry me a river.
Oh, shut up, Sam. Man, I don't know. Of course I want to win. I'll never be a fan that roots for my team to lose. I would love for them to go 0-17 because, yes, they would get rid of everybody. I think they should. Well, I would hope. Who knows? But I will never not root for my team to win that week, no matter what I think early in the week. Just I couldn't even enjoy the Jets game because all I kept thinking is, why didn't we beat the Patriots? Why did Zach Sealer rough the punter, and why did he step out of bounds? A-Chain. That's all I can think of. I said we could have been 2-2, damn it. That's me.
Man. That's real. I love it.
I'm not gonna root for 17, Adrian. I get it. I was one of those that proved the tanking. I really wanted to tank for Joe Burrow, but I think I don't know. Maybe I get it older, but I think if we're gonna get the quarterback, we're gonna find it. If we get competent people in the front office, we're gonna find the right quarterback. I would like to get the next quarterback to be 6'5". huge hands, mobile. Because if you're gonna throw 10-yard passes, you don't need to be that accurate. So with a bump for a cannon to the deep shot, but we have to wait and see.
I don't even want to get a quarterback. I'm telling you, I want to build the lines, man.
Inside out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, let's get the head coach first.
CCRR is he's saying he's a Dolphin fan, just cheering for the Panthers this week. Embrace the tank. He changed his whole profile picture.
I love that. But I am Jimenez. I know he says he's a Panthers fan. So reach out to Adrian to see if we can do a collaboration for the.
We need to hit rock bottom so we can clean house. Well said, brother.
Sometimes you have to. Anthony said he wants to, before we go, he wants to read a comment. Let's say,
yeah, drafting an offensive tackle Jake Long over Matt Ryan is what guys. If we would have put Matt Ryan behind that offensive line that we had, come on, man, what do you think would have happened? You got to build the team right.
Yes,
you can't just throw a quarterback behind a crappy offensive line and be like, yeah, go out there and be good. It's not gonna happen.
I love Jake Long as a Dolphins tackle until Joe Philbin put in the preseason game in the rain, and you know what happens next. So please like to subscribe to FTSN. Please follow us on Fins TV, Fins TV on X, YouTube, everywhere we are here. We're gonna be next week here because next week is Herbie week, so it's gonna be fun. Adrian, hopefully I'll see you next weekend in Miami for that game. I can't wait to meet with you. Eddie, you have to go down to Miami so we can all meet. And
yeah.
Let's go, brother.
That's awesome.
Good.
Absolutely. So no matter what, we know new catchphrase. We don't lose no matter what. At least we have each other. Peace up, guys.